let's talk about how this is used today in some of the day-to-day things. So a topic that I said I'd talk about and focus on are influencers. Who are the people that are influential in social interactions? And we're talking about face-to-face interactions here. Well, we've done a lot of different experiments, and both in the lab and, for instance, in that German bank. And we've given people personality tests, and then we've asked the people around them, who's influential in your group? And you find surprising consensus on who's influential. And these are some of the characteristics. They have high activity, so they're energetic. Remember, you can measure that without words. You can just watch people and tell. They have influence, which is this timing thing. So they tend to drive conversations. They will cut people off by a millisecond. They'll answer really quickly when somebody else is done. They'll essentially cause the pattern of conversation to be driven by their questioning and their sort of plan for how the conversation ought to go. And they have variable prosody. There's two types of prosody they exhibit. One is very highly variable, so it varies a lot during the conversation. Oh, really? What do you think? Wow, interesting. And the other is when they tell you exactly what's the right thing to do, and there's very little variation. Okay? But what's interesting about these things is that they have similar effects but in different contexts. So the variable one is great when you're doing a soft sell. So for instance, in commercial operation now, we can tell when a customer will say yes to something, given that they've called in to a call center, and they're already inquiring about something. Essentially, they're sold. They know what they want. So if the call center representative has high activity, listens a lot, but high activity, the timing is very attentive sounding, very tight, and they have this highly variable prosody, you can predict that with almost 90% accuracy whether or not the customer will actually buy something. If it's a cold call situation where the person isn't yet sold, okay, what are you guys going to do for me, right? Then the sales guy has to come back in the same way. They has to sound like they know what they're talking about. Okay, sir, what you need to do is this, this, and this, right? And again, that's predictive of success. Out in the wild, people show body language differences. So the people that are influencers tend to face people more. I mean, you know this. And they stand a little bit closer. So you can measure that with the badges. And it's really true. It's not just something, you observe. If you average it over an entire month, it's true. It correlates with this sense of influence. And their personality things. So influencers tend to be openness with low neuroticism. There's another sort of little joke in here, which is that, how do you tell a dominant nerd? So a dominant nerd is the one that stares at the other guy's shoes. Right? Yeah? Turns out it's true, right? So, who knew? But this is an example of some